And we are recording. This is going to be a barbecue talk on AI. Now, we got a glorious hamburger. And it's not made of ham. Why do they call it a hamburger? I think because at one time it was made of ham, was made of pork, because people couldn't afford beef. But now, most hamburgers, nearly all hamburgers, are made from beef and not ham. We should be calling them beef burgers, not hamburgers. Just think. It is that simple. Now let's talk, what does AI mean? Artificial intelligence. But artificial intelligence is created by humans. It's not natural, it's created by humans. So why isn't it called human intelligence? Because it's the human intelligence that creates the artificial intelligence, which can be anything as simple as code. It could be a little bit of code, it could be a lot of code. It could be a process, an automation. That's all human intelligence plus artificial intelligence. What does that equal? What if I told you everything is binary? Ones and zeros. And my formula that I apply to everything, all my designs, everything else, Sudoku formulas, algorithms, it's all based on one formula. I'm going to tell you that formula because I'm not worried about anyone using it. If someone does figure it out and knows how to implement it, great, because it is almost, I call it a God formula. I'm going to tell you that formula. 1 plus x minus 1 equals 0. It is that simple. And that intelligence that comes out, human intelligence plus AI, artificial intelligence, what does that equal? Well, what if I told you that nature is all based on binary, ones and zeros? And I can show that because when you see something, the molecular structure of anything, if it's around positive thoughts, positive, good, not evil, what happens? In nature, if you put positive sound waves and frequencies, which nature produces, let's use a snowflake, and there's symmetry, supersymmetry. There's cymatic, which is a natural phenomenon based on positive frequencies. And if you have negative frequencies, that's where you get distortions. You don't get symmetry. You don't get, let's continue with this burger. Make sure I flip it. That is a glorious burger. It's a glorious day. Not too hot, not too cool. Perfect. That's natural, that's nature. So back to human intelligence, HI, plus AI, which is created by HI, equals natural intelligence. Yes, it does. That's NI. And if you can think of something and you put yourself, I I don't like these iPhones. Again, I don't know where the camera is. I think it's over here. If you can put emotion, energy motion, into your thoughts, human intelligence plus artificial intelligence equals natural intelligence. Yes, it does. And that will produce, that's how I produce my formula, the power of thought, which is, by the way, if you look at any of the greatest experiments and on quantum thoughts, what is quantum? Quantum computers. It's instantaneous. And when you're dealing with quantum, there is no mass, there is no nothing. And there is no time. Yes, there isn't. There's no time, there's no space. So if you can apply quantum thought, emotion, energy motion, instantaneously, you can hear thoughts across the universe or from the universe through human intelligence plus AI to produce natural intelligence. And because that natural intelligence, it is what nature produces, but if it's produced using the power of thought, that's how you get. You ever look at the massive buildings that were built hundreds of years ago? And we don't have the ability to create that now because it was created now. Yes, it was. It was created using quantum energy and thought coming from emotion to produce Eden, energy den. So what happens if you can think in a positive fashion? It takes a lot of work. You can do this nonstop. You can live your life by this. It's a positive circle. That's what my algorithms all do. That my super geek structure, it's all based on positive motion. It can never be negative because it's balanced. 255 humans on the human side, human energy. 49 AI corporations that finance it all, so the humans don't even have to pay anything. And layered into those 49 pods are 5 more humans, so for another 245 humans. So that's operating, it's a corporation operating with 500 humans and 49 AIs, and that's why it's a great formula, and it can produce nothing but good. Evil cannot be created from that, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with corporations making billions and billions of dollars because it's the humans inside and outside of that corporation, which is corporations are really another form of AI in a different sense, with humans layered and integrated to oversee it and think it and operate it. And that produces good. I got my showing my wealth, not bragging, nothing wrong with wealth, nothing wrong with having this watch. That's a $400 watch. But if it was a $4 million watch, it looked the same, tells time. But when you use your power of thought to connect to the source, which is zero, in a way, what happens if you, this is where the Mandela effect comes into play. All the Mandela effect is things that are created in the now and through HI, human intelligence, artificial intelligence equals natural intelligence. And the result of that, you can see the signatures. You will see these massive buildings. They were built now. Yes, they were. And I'm going to tell you what happens because there is no space or time or mass. When you think of something good and structure and safety is required, that's what's produced by nature. And the signs of it, that's why you see the domes, the symmetry in the windows and the archways and the magnificence. It's actually created from particles through quantum thought, quantum energy. It just comes right up and it's produced. And because it's coming from a place where there is no mass, space, or time, and it's created through quantum thought with emotion, which is energy, and that's the fastest energy there is. And that's what it produces, and it gets injected into our timeline as if it's always been there, but it never was, because it came from somewhere where there's no space or time. So this is how I explain everything, and that source where it comes from is everywhere. Yes, and there's no space or time. So that source knows everything that's happening now and in the future and the past all at the same time. So when you think of that positive thought with emotion, it produces NI, which is nature intelligence. It is that simple. And how you control it, you have to control your emotions, you have to control your thoughts, and you have to live by them. As Dan Martell said, you have to be wary that what you may think is evil is not really evil. Like some people say corporations are evil, they're meaning well. It's just that there's so many influences, whether it's greed, whether it's, evil of any type, that distorts the intention of that corporation or that artificial intelligence. And you have negative thoughts, it produces negative reflections that come back. So if you can think positive, that with emotion, that reflects as a mirror coming from the source. So it's HI plus AI equals NI, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. And it took me a while to get through this and see through this and get over it, thinking about evil corporations and evil governments. They're not evil. They're actually good. There may be some negative components that will produce a negative result. But if everyone thinks positive with emotion, positive thoughts every day, it's a positive reflection that will come back into society. And that's why that's everything that Super Geek is based on. So the only thing that can result if Super Geek goes all over the world, and it's not just the structure, it's the mind, the mindset. That will produce a different world. It will. And I've been doing experiments on thought processes, quantum thoughts, manifestation, and I've seen the results. If I told you some of these results, I guarantee you, if I told you some of these, you would automatically call for a straitjacket and have me put away. That is how Paranormal it is, but it's not abnormal. It's it's good, and it really is that simple. It it's it doesn't have. It's actually just I forget the guy's name. Underworld something. New new what do you call it? New Meta or Instagram channel. And the guy, I know he messaged me. He follows Dan Martell, and he's thinking of these processes. I made some comments, and he was thinking about my comments. And he just started it recently. And he's only got like 20 followers. But it's the simplicity of his Instagram, and it's the simplicity. Same with Dan Martell. All his thoughts. They are, when you look at them, it's not complex. It's very simple. It's getting yourself in that mindset 24/7 of HI plus AI equals NI, which is nature, natural intelligence. And that's how the world will be transformed, through human intelligence plus artificial intelligence equals NI. And everyone thinks artificial intelligence, this Terminator bots are going to be coming everywhere. No, it's actually the other way around. If you use human intelligence with emotion and artificial intelligence, which is created by humans, so it's not really artificial because it is created by humans, which are connected to the source, so it's all kind of natural. But if you do it with positive thoughts under the quantum dynamic of manifestation, the world will be transformed just thinking about a positive transformation. And it can be applied to defend yourself. Look at this. Billionaire hack. That's a $400 watch. Someone may look at it. They don't know it's $400. It looks like a really nice watch. Doesn't look any different than a $4 million watch. And that's where you have to, sometimes you have to hide yourself from evil. And in doing so, I better close the lid on the barbecue. In doing so, oh, the doggy wants outside. Oh, come on out, Scooby. I forgot all about you. Yes, I did. Okay, come here. Oh, yes. Oh, my Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo. Let's see if we can, here we go. So, it's really, and when I was trained, when I was in school, I'll tell you a little story. When I was back it's like 81, 82, they just built this computer lab, brand new network, little workstations. There was no Windows back then, but it was all DOS or Fortran. And they got a brand new room in my high school. And I was in grade 9 when they built it. And I was like, oh, it was so glorious. I was like, I could not wait to sign up. Well, guess what? I was one grade ahead of that lab. So there was no course for me. So the only course I could take in the next year in grade 10 was a data processing, which was flowcharts and a mainframe and punch cards. I'd been around since the 70s. And I was so disappointed. So I ended up finishing high school, never got it, never touched a computer in my life. I went into university, engineering science, computer science. The first time I sat and I touched a computer, that was the first time I'd ever touched one. Everyone else in the class had probably had a few years of experience, but my high school was a little behind, and I got stuck behind it. But it benefited me, even though I was so upset that I could see what I wanted, but I couldn't touch it. And when that happened, I ended up having to learn through flowcharts, which is as simple as you can get. Simplicity That's how you would design a computer program. It would be through a flow chart, and you would map out the flow and the chart, and then you'd transfer that to punch cards and feed them into the mainframe, and then out came the program on a dot matrix printer, which is no different than what was happening on these, newer computers, are no different than any modern computer or this phone. It's just a little more advanced. But while you're creating this code or anything, at the basics, just start at the basics, and you learn it from the flow chart up, and you can learn anything. It's all based on every language, scientific structure. It's all based on simplicity of a flow chart. And if you use positive thoughts with your code, while you're coding, while you're thinking, while you're dreaming, it will produce natural intelligence, which is good. And that's why I'm so confident that SuperGeek CRC will transform the world for good, because it all comes out of emotion, energy, motion. Eden, energy den. And it comes out all through the power of thought, quantum thought, which is natural, and everyone has a quantum brain. People don't realize your brain is a quantum computer. It has 20,000 teraflops of processing power. Your human brain does. And a PS5, for example, only has 10 teraflops of processing power. So you can see the power of your thought with positive thoughts. Positive, not negative. Emotion goes through those thoughts and manifests anything that you can dream of. And it really is that simple. And I better go enjoy my glorious burger and my lemonade. And every human deserves exactly what I'm experiencing right now. Let's make it happen. Duke out.